A dupe for Colorescience Total Eye 3-in-1 Renewal Sunscreen. Let's discuss. Well, hey guys, if you've been here for a while, you know one of my favorite skincare products that is definitely a splurge is the Colorescience Total Eye 3-in-1 Renewal. Yes, it is a sunscreen for around the eyes. No, you don't need a specific product as a sunscreen for around your eyes. The sunscreen you use on your face is more than adequate. But this particular product has some ingredients in it, and the overall formulation is such that it offers really nice color correction around the eyes, and it helps to hydrate and smooth out little fine lines. It really has a nice cosmetic bang for its buck. So it's like a hybrid between sunscreen and a makeup product, offering really good sun protection, but also giving you some color correction. Now, what with it being so expensive, I am always getting comments anytime I mention it. Is there a dupe? Is there a more affordable alternative? I've tried a few over the years, and I always go back to that one. However, a brand that, in my opinion, does the best job duping expensive skincare products is, well, you know, Dermatology. One of my all-time favorite facial sunscreens from Dermatology, their universal tint. So when I saw they came out with a tinted sunscreen for around the eyes with a metal tip cooling applicator similar to the Colorescience one, I knew I had to try it out. There are 4 shades to choose from: fair, medium, tan, and deep. I went with fair, the lightest shade. SPF 41, just like the Colorescience one, this is an all mineral formula, zinc and titanium dioxide. And honestly, that's a good choice for something that is going to be used around the eyes because it's a lot more likely to be tolerable, whereas certain chemical sunscreen ingredients can burn and sting around the eyes. One of the advantages of choosing a tinted sunscreen, whether it be on your face, your body, is that the tint comes from iron oxides. Iron oxides, as it turns out, have been shown to be helpful for protecting the skin from wavelengths of light from the sun that are not ultraviolet radiation, but rather blue light, and we now know lead to more early onset and stubborn and persistent hyperpigmentation. So if your skin heals with a dark mark or you have any kind of dark spots you are hoping to improve the appearance of, to get to fade, choose a tinted sunscreen. But there are a few other beneficial ingredients in this formula. First of all, snow mushroom. I've used a lot of products over the years with snow mushroom. It's a really cool mushroom. As a side note, compounds from this mushroom end up being really hydrating. So it lends itself to excellent moisturizing and skin conditioning properties, which is great around the delicate eyelid skin, not only from a protective mechanism and helping to maintain the moisture barrier to reduce irritation, but also in hydrating up the outermost layer to smooth out those little fine lines that we're not so fond of. This also has some peptides, okay? So peptides, they, in my opinion, mostly work by, well, improving moisture content in skin's outermost layer. So they're hydrating ingredients. What peptides does this have? Palmitoyl tripeptide 5. That goes by the name of Syncol. The makers of this peptide have done some studies, albeit not like rigorous, peer-reviewed or anything of that sort, showing an improvement in firmness and elasticity in actual human volunteers. Now, is that a placebo-controlled trial? No. So it could just be, again, moisturizing effect, not necessarily specific to the fact that you have a peptide in there that is actively doing anything above and beyond moisturizing the skin. Then you have the dynamic duo, palmitoyl tripeptide 1 and palmitoyl tripeptide 7. By dynamic duo, I mean those two together are what constitute Matrixyl 2000. And this peptide duo is thought to help with collagen health, if you will. Help to put the brakes on collagen destruction, have some anti-inflammatory effects. To what extent they actually do that, more research is needed, but the maker of this peptide has done some studies, again, on actual human volunteers, not the most rigorous studies, but these studies have shown a reduction in the appearance of wrinkles, a lifting effect, and improved texture, as well as an improvement in the appearance of dark spots. Ceramides. Ceramides are lipids naturally found in skin's outermost layer, very important for barrier function. With age, our production of ceramides starts to dwindle a bit. We're not as efficient, I should say. That's why we're more susceptible to dry skin. Applying ceramides topically can help improve ceramide production in the skin, it's thought, and ultimately are beneficial for improving dryness and barrier function. So those are the ingredients, what they do, what they offer. But what about the overall formulation? This product, remember, it's not meant to be a concealer, but the way it's formulated, it is meant to offer color correction. All of the shades are going to have these sort of peachy undertones to them that are intended to cancel out bluish hues, making it good at color correcting the under eye area, improving the appearance, that's key, the appearance of dark under eye circles and prominent veins. You see, the skin of our eyelids, top and bottom, quite thin, quite delicate. And of course, with age, it gets even thinner. You want to choose a product that has kind of a peachy undertone to color correct and balance those bluish undertones. The formula is moisturizing. It stays in place well throughout the day, though it is not water resistant. Doesn't seem to seep around my eyes, crease. That's another notable plus about this formula I have noticed. It doesn't settle into the creases. This formula, in contrast to the Colorescience one, it doesn't, for lack of a better descriptor, it doesn't have as much slip to it. It is not as emollient. It is a lot more matte. Matte, but also hydrating, such that it's not so cloyingly matte that it accentuates fine lines. Now, this, like the Colorescience one, it has a very similar packaging in that it's got this cool metal applicator, which they suggest is going to offer, via its cooling properties, a helpful outcome in reducing under eye puffiness. It might, but truthfully, I have found with this product specifically, using it, I don't end up using the metal tip applicator. Something about the shape, it's a little too small. I don't know. I find that it's not as easy to work the product into the skin with the applicator. I find that it's much easier to get the product on the skin in an even fashion with good coverage just using patting motions of my fingers. So I don't end up really using the applicator. Cool temperatures certainly can help with reducing under eye puffiness. Now, under eye puffiness is a common cosmetic concern. It can be related to fluid changes, especially given how thin the under eye skin is. When we have a little bit of collection of fluid, it is a lot more obvious, and that's why you see puffy under eyes. It can be related to having a high salt meal the day before, excessive alcohol consumption, seasonal allergies. It is pollen season right now, and the amount of that I have to edit out of some of my videos. It's seasonal allergy time. If you're dealing with that, you may notice that it's showing up in more prominent puffiness under the eyes, more prominent dark circles. So the cool temperature can help constrict the blood vessels there and reduce puffiness. As a matter of fact, a lot of under eye creams, products aimed at reducing puffiness will often contain caffeine, which is a vasoconstrictor that may help clamp down the blood vessels and help direct that fluid out from the under eye skin. But some studies actually looking at caffeine-containing under-eye gels versus placebo gels with no caffeine show that they pretty much, in most people, work the same, meaning it may not even be necessary to have caffeine in there in the first place for the under-eye puffiness reduction effect. Simply, the cool temperature may get you there. So all that yammering aside, if you do deal with under-eye puffiness, you might just take the cool metal applicator and gently press it there before even bothering to apply the product. I say that because personally, I don't find the applicator to be particularly helpful in applying the product. They say to just do half a pump. I do a full pump, and I find that dispenses enough product to get the lower and upper eyelids. You want to make sure you're putting sunscreen on the upper eyelids all the way up to your brow bone. I mean, you should be putting sunscreen all over your face, right? So make sure you get it all, in here, upper eyelid, all the way up to your eyebrow. Sunscreen should always be the last skincare step in your morning skincare routine. So you might choose to put your facial sunscreen on all over, sparing around the eyes, and then come in with this. Or you may want to double up, right? The more sunscreen you put on your skin, the better in the long run, because it's more likely that you get to a sufficient density to give you good protection. So you may want to do it that way. provided you tolerate your facial sunscreen around your eyes. A lot of people, the sunscreen that they're using on their face ends up causing burning, stinging around the eyes. And for that reason, a lot of people slack on putting sunscreen around the eyes. So for those of you out there, you might enjoy this type of product, but my more cost-effective recommendation, if you don't want to plunk down on this dedicated SPF for the eyes, is to just get a mineral sunscreen, specifically ones marketed for babies, simply because they tend to be a lot more sensitive skin friendly, if you will. Get an all mineral sunscreen meant for babies. Just use a little bit of that as your eye sunscreen, and then whatever else you're using on your face, you know, that is bothersome to your eyes, you know, you just use to the rest of your face. Now, makeup is going to be next. If you wear makeup, makeup is going to be next. Makeup goes over sunscreen once it is dried down fully. So that being said, I find that this product is actually a pretty good eyeshadow primer. The makeup goes on over it well and helps the eyeshadow stay on better, last longer throughout the day. It's not marketed as an eyeshadow primer, but I've found that it works quite well in that way. As a matter of fact, I personally find that sunscreen is like my makeup primer because it moisturizes the skin, it hydrates it, it allows for a more even base for the makeup to go on, and so I don't even use makeup primer. Now, while this is a quote-unquote more affordable dupe, it certainly is less expensive compared to the Colorescience one. It is not cheap. It's $44. So do I think it is worth it? I think it is worth it if you are someone who is seeking a product to color correct and protect, and also you find that your sunscreen that you use on your face, you do not tolerate it around the eyes. You have very sensitive eyes. You might want to try this. You might really end up liking this. Like if you have prominent dark under eye circles that you're looking to improve the appearance of, but you also want sun protection, this is a great product to try out. If you have any kind of true hyperpigmentation, not just dark under eye circles from the veins showing through, but true hyperpigmentation, sunspots, age spots, discoloration around the eyes, you want something to color correct, to camouflage that a bit, although it's not a concealer, so don't expect it to completely cover it, but something to protect it and help actively assist in clearing it up via sun and visible light protection. This would also be a great product to try. If you're someone who, like myself, loves and adores the Colorescience one, but you want to dial back on your spending, give this one a try. All right, guys, that is my review on Dermatology's newer, I should say, Luminous Eye Corrector as a tinted SPF for around the eyes with some very moisturizing, hydrating ingredients, anti-aging ingredients, if you will, in the realm of peptides like matrixyl, which are often pursued in eye creams, which in my opinion are mostly hydrating the skin, but I digress. It does have a nice wrinkle smoothing effect. They really reign supreme in the realm of duping high-end products. So I'm not sponsored by Dermatology. I don't have an affiliate link with them or anything of that sort, but I did have the opportunity to visit their facility a couple of years ago. As a matter of fact, in the description box, I will link that video so you can check it out and learn more about them as a brand, but they really do an excellent job in their skincare formulations. If you have tried this product, let me know in the comments what you think of it. I hope you enjoyed this review. If so, give it a thumbs up, share it with your friends, and as always, don't forget, sunscreen and subscribe. I'll talk to you guys tomorrow. Bye.